Representative Kupchick of the 132nd have the floor, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I, too, like many members in the chamber, are struggling with this bill. Like Representative Sampson said, it's probably one of the most difficult decisions I've made since we've been here. And I honestly don't know how I'm going to vote until I actually push that button today. I'm reading a lot of information. I'm listening to constituents who are contacting me. I do have some philosophies on this. When Representative Clarida said earlier that either marijuana is bad or it's not. You know, certain amounts are going to be fined and some are going to be illegal or going to carry harsher penalties. And maybe the debate should be about legalization, and maybe it shouldn't be about decriminalization. I don't want to send the wrong message to young people either. However, I have a lot of family members who have had drug problems over the years. And my experience has been that they were going to have a drug problem regardless of what was going to happen. That it was something that was inside of them that predisposed them to have an addiction, whether it be alcohol, drugs, whatever. So I understand some of the concerns about marijuana being a gateway drug and that we're sending a message to young people that using marijuana is okay and that it might make them use other drugs. That might be true. It might not be true. I'm not really sure. I've known a lot of people over my lifetime who've used marijuana and who grew up to be productive citizens and never used drugs ever again. And then I know people who maybe took, as a young person, who took drugs out of their parents' medicine cabinet and became full-blown drug addicts and lost their lives. So I just don't know. Someone wrote to me today that if I didn't support this bill, that I would be an active proponent of government intervention into the private lives of citizens and an enemy to human rights and civil liberties. That actually bothers me to think that I would be doing that, because my philosophy is in independent and individual liberty. I do believe in individual liberty, so much so that I think government is way too much involved in our lives. So that's where I'm having the difficulty with this bill. I do have a couple questions for the proponent of the bill. Through you, Mr. Speaker.
Please proceed, Madam.
In the states that have passed this, I'm assuming the Judiciary Committee did some research. I've been trying to do some as well. Through you, Mr. Speaker, do the statistics show that the states that decriminalize marijuana, 13 states I believe it is, do they show that addiction has increased? Are the rehabs more crowded? Has there been any difference in that percentage in those states? Through you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Fox.
Thank you, and through you, Mr. Speaker. By way of background, and I'm going by some of the research done by our Office of Legislative Research, there were about 11 states that decriminalized marijuana back in the 70s, and then there are two states who did it more recently. Those two states are Nevada and Massachusetts. And the question that's asked is one that is addressed in the report that I'm looking at, which says it's difficult to determine whether decriminalization caused an increase in marijuana usage, and it says that different studies have come to different conclusions. So I think it's an excellent question. It's one that I'm sure we all are asking ourselves, but based upon what we have here, it's difficult to give an answer.
Representative Kupchick.
Thank you to the proponent. And one other question. In that research, through you, Mr. Speaker, was there any inclination or any statistical evidence that showed the crime went down, went up, stayed the same. Through you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Fox.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, I don't see any reference that crime went up, so that probably the answer will be consistent with what I said on the previous question. Through you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Kupchick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for the answer, Representative. Again, I will say that I'm really having a difficult time here. I do not want to send the wrong message to young people. I don't want to be a legislator that says, you know, it's okay to do something that might hurt you. But at the same time, I'm going back to my principles about civil liberties and about being accountable for your own actions. And I'm really struggling with that piece of it. So I'm going to continue to listen to the debate. I'm going to read some information on the internet, and I'm going to hope that I'll be able to come to the right decision before the vote comes. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Representative Rowe of the 120.